Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's Monday Night Football game for Week 10. For Monday Night Football tonight, guys, we got a game between the Broncos and the Bills, and we got two props that I like for this Monday Night Football game. So we're going to talk through these two plays and share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have an account on Prizepicks, get signed up. Use promo code NOAH. When you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. Be sure to check them out. Use that code when you do sign up. Also want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we also are partnered up with Sleeper. And if you guys don't have an account over on Sleeper, you can sign up for Sleeper as well. Download their app either on the App Store or the Google Play Store, whether you have like an iPhone or an Android. Download their app, sign up, make a deposit, and when you use promo code NOAH over on Sleeper, you also get your first deposit matched up to $100. Now, for those of you that don't know what Sleeper is, they are an app very similar to Prizepicks and a lot of these other DFS pick'em apps. On Sleeper, though, you can win up to 100x your money. So, a lot of these pick'em sites, they do kind of cap the amount that you can win. So most sites it's like 25, 20x, 30, 40. Well, Sleeper does offer payouts up to 100x. So, if you're one of those people that really likes to chase those high payouts, if you like to make those lotto type tickets, those kind of boom bust, like just go for a big hit. If that's the kind of player that you are and the person that you like to be when it comes to doing DFS and doing pick'em stuff, if you like chase those high payouts, I definitely recommend giving Sleeper a try, guys. And if you don't have an account on Sleeper, again, you can sign up, use promo code NOAH, and get your first deposit matched up to $100. Did want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper, but we got two props to talk about for Monday Night Football tonight. Not the greatest game tonight, but I still found two plays, guys, that I did like for this game, so we're going to talk through them. Got a fantasy score prop I'm liking, and then I got a receiving yards prop I'm liking. Now, for fantasy score, we're going to take a look at Stephon Diggs, 18 fantasy score. And I like the over here, more than 18 fantasy score for Stephon Diggs. Now, we took this play last Sunday in our video last Sunday when the Bills played the Bengals. And Stephon Diggs came through for us, had a good game, 22.6 fantasy points. Pretty sure he had I want to say he had over 100 yards, or he had 86 yards, six catches for 86 yards and a touchdown last week. But if you look at Diggs this season, he has gone over this fantasy score line in 6 out of their 9 games this season. One of the games he went under, he had 17.8 against New England, so he came up just short. The other 2 games he went under, he had 16, and then he had 13.6. So he's had at least 13.6 fantasy points in every single game this season. He's had at least 16 fantasy points in 8 out of 9 games. The volume, is going to be there for Stephon Diggs. We know he is going to get a ton of opportunity. He's had at least 7 targets in every single game this season. He's had at least 6 receptions in every single game this season, and he's had at least 58 receiving yards in every single game. He's had over 100 yards in 5 out of 9 games. I mean, Diggs has shown, he's been like one of the best fantasy wide receivers this year. The volume's been great. He gets a ton of opportunity. They target him a ton in the red zone. He's always a threat to score touchdowns. And if you look at this season, I mean, he's already scored, 7 touchdowns this year? 4 or 5, yeah, or actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7 touchdowns this season. Diggs has already scored 7 touchdowns. So he's always a threat to get into the end zone. I like fantasy score most, though, of all of Diggs' props for tonight's, just because I think that's where the most value is. Now, you can take a look at his receiving yards. You can take a look at his receptions. They do have a touchdown prop up for Diggs, which I don't mind taking that either, but I would rather bet on fantasy score just because with fantasy score, obviously if Diggs does score a touchdown, you're going to get a lot of points for that. Touchdowns are worth 6 points, and then you get a point per reception, and then you get 1 point for every 10 receiving yards. So let's say Diggs has 7 catches for, 7 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. Well, that would be 20 fantasy points. Obviously, there's a chance that, Diggs goes over his receptions line, goes over his receiving yards, but doesn't go over fantasy score. I think that's pretty unlikely to happen. I would think if he goes over receptions and receiving yards, he's very likely to go over fantasy score as well. I could see a scenario, though, where he only has, maybe 5 catches for 50 yards, or I wouldn't say that, 5 catches for 50 yards, but maybe 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. That would still put him at 18 fantasy score. So it's, we don't really need a touchdown from Diggs for him to go over this line, but if he does get into the end zone, obviously, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Again, I just like betting on fantasy score more, though, because, you have you just have more outs. You're not relying on a touchdown. If Diggs goes out there and gets 9 catches for 100 yards, which he could totally do, that would be 19 fantasy points. He could still go over this line without getting into the end zone. I like fantasy score most of all Diggs props tonight. I think this line is definitely a little bit too low. Even if you add up, his receiving yards and his receptions, you add those two together, that would be 15 point like almost 16 fantasy points. And then you got to factor in his touchdown equity. I think he probably has a little bit more touchdown equity than Prizepicks is kind of banking in. I feel like this line should be like 19.5 on Stephon Diggs. I think 18 is a bit low. And if you look at Sleeper, so Sleeper, they do fantasy score projections for NFL. Unfortunately, they don't do them anymore for NBA, but they do them for NFL. And if you look at Sleeper, they actually have their line set to 21.2 on Stephon Diggs. So Sleeper has their line on Diggs 3 points higher than Prizepicks does. I definitely think Prizepicks is under projecting Diggs a little bit here when it comes to fantasy score. So that's the first prop I do like for tonight, more than 18 fantasy score for Stephon Diggs. And then the other prop I like to pair with that on the Broncos side, we're going to look at the receiving yards category. We're going to take a look at Samaje Perine, 12.5 receiving yards. We're going to take the over here as well. So this is one that really stands out to me, but it's a little weird, I'll be honest, because if you look at Samaje Perine's game log this season, he's gone over this line in every single game this season. He's had at least 16 receiving yards in every single game this season. So it is very weird that Perine has had he's not had at least 16 yards, he's had at least 15 yards. So Perine has had at least 15 receiving yards in every single game this season, and his line is set at 12.5 for tonight. Like, it does feel a little weird, but if you look at DK Sportsbook, like, juice is heavily on the over on this prop. Right now, DK Sportsbook, they have Perine's line set at 12.5 receiving yards, but it's favored minus 135 on the over. So I don't want to say this is like a trap or something. I don't really believe in that type of stuff. It is weird though that Perine's had at least 15 yards, receiving yards in every game, and his line set at 12.5 tonight. But let's talk about why I kind of like this prop. So first off, if you look at his game log, Perine has been really involved in the passing game this season. That's where he's going to do a lot of his work. He's not going to get a ton of carries. If anything, he'll maybe get like 1 or 2 carries. You're going to use him in passing situations, and he's not going to play a ton of snaps. He's like their backup running back. The Broncos, they are going to use 3 running backs. I mean, last week, if you look at the snap counts for the Broncos, I'm blanking on his name right now. I'm going to pull up the snap counts real quick. Javonte Williams. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. But Javonte Williams, he played a season high 63% of the snaps last week. But you still did get 24% of the snaps for Samaje Perine. And then Jaleel McLaughlin played 11% of the snaps. So far this season, though, pretty much it's been kind of like a 3-man committee with Javonte obviously leading the trio, followed by Perine, followed by McLaughlin. For the last 2 weeks, Perine has played 25% of the snaps, 24% of the snaps. There have been some games this season where he's gotten a higher snap share. We did see at the beginning of the season, they weren't playing Javonte Williams as much as they are now. Javonte Williams, his snaps have increased lately versus what they were at the beginning of the season. So maybe that's why the books are a little bit lower on Perine than normal, just because Javonte Williams has started to earn kind of a bigger role. But in a game like this on the road in Buffalo, where the Broncos are 7-point underdogs, this is a game where you expect the Broncos to be playing from behind. I was honestly surprised to see the Bills only favored by 7. I figured the Bills would have been favored by like double digits here at home. But this is a game script where you expect the Broncos to be playing from behind. And when they're playing from behind, Perine is going to be the guy out there in a lot of those passing situations, getting those targets. And you look at his targets this season, he's had at least 2 targets in every single game this season. He's had at least 2 receptions in every single game. The last 2 games, he's had 3 targets, 3 receptions for 31 yards, 2 catches for 16 yards. Even if he only gets like 2 catches, he can hit this line in 2 catches. He could hit this line in 1 catch. Like if he gets a screen pass and with good blocking, he could easily get 13 receiving yards on 1 catch. So it does feel a little weird, a little fishy that Perine's gone over this line in every single game this season. I'm surprised the books are putting a line on him this low, which just makes me a little worried. But again, right now DK Sportsbook juice is heavily on the over at 12.5. I like it at 12.5. I think this line is probably a bit too low. I think it probably should be like 15.5, 16.5, especially in a game script, again, where the Broncos should be playing from behind. Even if Perine, only plays like 15, 20 snaps, when he's on the field, he should be on the field in passing situations, and he should be out there running routes when he's on the field, and that's obviously what we're hoping for is him to be out there catching passes. So that's the other play I like for tonight, guys. Is my JP Ryan more than 12.5 receiving yards. These are the two props I like for Monday Night Football tonight, guys. Hopefully, if you guys are tailing me, we can win some money tonight. We did give out 3 plays for Sunday's NFL slate on YouTube. Hit two out of our 3 plays. Unfortunately, Brandon Ayuk did not go over his reception prop of 4.5. He only had 3 receptions. But we had a really good day on Patreon. Gave out 5 NFL plays on Patreon. Hit 4 out of 5. We also gave out 5 NBA plays on Patreon for Sunday. Hit 4 out of 5 NBA plays as well. So it was a pretty good day for us Sunday. Hopefully you guys made some money. If you guys enjoy this content that I put out on YouTube, if you enjoy these free plays I give out and you want more Prizepicks plays from me, you can check those out. Linked down below in the description. I do give out a lot of additional Prizepicks plays over on Patreon. If you're interested in that, again, that's linked down below in the description. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching the video, supporting the content. Hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And be sure to go check out Prizepicks as well, guys. If you're not signed up for Prizepicks yet, get signed up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But that's all that I got for tonight. Good luck again, guys. Hopefully we can make some money tonight, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.